So something that gets glazed over a lot that I don't often talk about is what it actually feels like to get your entire life back in a very short amount of time. So I had been doing DNRS for a month and a half before going to the seminar, the in-person seminar, and I had gotten a lot better. I had been able to be around chemicals more and things were going really well. So when I went to the seminar, I was like the healthiest person there. So I was doing really well. But when I went there, I was still only able to eat a handful of foods. And those same foods were the only foods I had been able to eat for years. And so I had become so accepting of the fact that I was never going to be able to eat normal food. I was never going to be able to go to a restaurant. And I was fine with that because I had to be, because I wanted to be happy with my life, and that's what my life was. So I had really accepted it. And then I go to Canada to the in-person seminar. And while I'm there, I start introducing new foods for the first time like ever. And it was very exciting when I was there, and all I thought about was how happy I was and how amazing this was, and opening up all these possibilities, because I was still there at the seminar and I was just sort of off in a magical world. And then I'm at the airport and flying home, and it's all sinking in and it's not really feeling right. And I didn't even have the words to describe what I was feeling, but I didn't even feel like myself. I didn't know who I was anymore. I felt like I had completely lost my identity, because who I was someone who couldn't eat food. And now, all of a sudden, I was someone who very much could eat food. And that happened in the span of like 4 days. And so we finally put the words to it that it felt like I was someone who'd been let out of jail, after a very long sentence. And it was overwhelming in just an absolute crazy way. I was in tears all the time. That first week when I came back, the first day, my husband picked me up from the airport, and there I am as he's driving me home, and I'm telling him, while just tears streaming down my face, telling him how amazing my life is. And they weren't even happy tears. Like, he's like, are you okay? Like, this is a good thing, right? And I kept saying it's a good thing, but it didn't even feel like a good thing because I didn't know who I was. And I had to tell friends, I had to tell all of my friends, I cannot talk to you about what I did in Canada. I cannot talk to you right now. We cannot go out and eat right now. We need to pretend like my life is what it was a week and a half ago. And so my friends were very good, and they respected that, and we did not talk about it, and we did not eat new food until I was ready to. And then after a week or so, we started introducing new things and new experiences, like going out to restaurants, and it was fantastic. And I started figuring out who Rachel was, who was healthy and who could go out to a restaurant and sit next to someone with perfume and eat chips and salsa and feel fantastic while doing it. And but it definitely, like, I feel like so often that just gets pushed aside. It's like, oh, I started DNRS and all of a sudden it was like amazing, and I went to Canada and I came back and I was cured. Well, that's partially it, but there was a lot of figuring out who in the world I was now, because in a lot of ways who I felt like I was no longer here, and that was hard. But it's a very good thing, and so I just wanted to put that out there. If anyone else is going through that, I know what that feels like, and it can feel crazy, and you feel crazy telling people, oh, this is a good thing, I'm getting better, but at the same time, you're like, what in the world is happening? So I just want you to know, if that happens, I understand what you're talking about, and it's okay, because in the end, you do get your life back, and it is fantastic, and you do get to go and you eat anything, and you go anywhere, and you do anything you want to do, and that's completely amazing. And whoever you were in the past, you can still be that same person while sitting in a restaurant next to someone wearing perfume. Trust me.